Hello, creative friends, and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. My name is Cheryl Dorsey. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California, and today is Monday, November. I almost said May. I don't know why. Today is Monday, November 24th, 2025. And I just want to say welcome to the squad today. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. If you are with me live today, let me know. So let me know you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. And it'd be great if you could let me know that you can hear me. That's always important. And then we can move forward. So thank you again for being here. And if you're watching the replay, also please leave me a comment. I like coming back and reading those to find out what you guys think, or if you have a question about something, I am happy to answer those. All right, Lisa is here. Hi, Lisa. And Lisa is in North Carolina. So thanks for being here, Lisa. And you can hear me. That's perfect. Yay. So let's move ahead. There's nothing worse than talking and talking and talking and finding out. Let me adjust us here and finding out that no one can hear you. That's a bad feeling. Okay, before we start, I have something really important to tell you, and that is Black Friday. Black Friday. Who likes to shop Black Friday specials? I know I do. I mean, I'm already making my list of the places I want to hit up and check out their Black Friday sales. And guess what? For the first time ever, Stampin' Up! Is doing a Black Friday sale. And I can't believe it. And I'm so excited. And the Black Friday sale starts tomorrow. It starts November 25th. So we don't even have to wait till Friday. You can start shopping tomorrow. And here's some of the things that are going to be on sale. 40% off Stampin' Blends. You guys know how much I love the Stampin' Blends. I'm actually using a blend today for one of the cards. Paper trimmer and blades, replacement blades for the paper trimmer, ink bundles, all of that 40% off. 25% off adhesives, select adhesives, and 15% off select cardstock. So be sure to do some shopping tomorrow. If you don't already have a demonstrator or you're not a demonstrator and you would like to shop in my online store, I would really appreciate it. That's where you can find me. You can pop right in there and do all of your shopping. So that's the big exciting news for this week. I can't believe they're doing that. I was so surprised. Lisa, you already have stuff in your cart. I know, right? Let's see who else is here. Michelle is here, Carla is here, and Cheryl Ann is here. Hi, Cheryl. Okay, I see your name, and that's very funny to me because my name is Cheryl Lynn. And I don't know if I've ever met anybody with the name Cheryl who didn't have either the middle name Ann or the middle name Lynn. It seems like that was the way it had to be. If you were going to name your child Cheryl, that you need to either choose Lynn or Ann for the middle name. So I don't know if that's been your experience, but I always find that kind of amusing when somebody tells me their name is Cheryl. I'm like, I bet I can guess your middle name. Okay, today we're going to make a really pretty card. I'm going to make one and then another one that's slightly different. And at the end, I've got yet another one made with some different paper to show you as well. So let's measure these pieces that I have already prepared for us. Let's see, this is Secret C, one of my big time favorite colors. Loving the Secret C. Cannot get enough of that. It is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And I've already scored it right here in the middle at 4.25. I've got another little piece of Secret C. And this one is 2.5 by 2.5. It is a square. Then I've got this Painterly Pears designer series paper that I think is so gorgeous. This piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And I have a piece of basic white cardstock that is the same 3 3/4 by 5. And I know you guys are alive over there in the comments. Once I finish this card, I'll come back and check and chat with you guys over there. So this one is 2 3/8. It's also a square, so 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. Here's another little piece of designer series paper. This one is 1.5 inches by 3 1/4. And then this is just a scrap of basic white. I did want to point out a couple things to you. So this paper, this piece, this sheet from the pack is the reverse side. So that's just one side and then the other of that paper. And let me grab this because one of the reasons I wanted to do this card today is because sometimes in the designer series paper packs, they give us a sheet. Here, let me grab it out of here. They give us a sheet that's a little different, a sheet like this, that instead of having the pattern all over the sheet, it's just got it along the edges. Now, of course, we all know you can always use whatever's on the other side, but sometimes people ask me what to do here if they've got a sheet like this and the design is only around the edges. So that's why I decided to make this card today, because as you can see, this is one of the corners from that sheet. So we've got some white spot right here. All right, so I'm going to show you kind of how I like to design or build a card with that. I'm also going to use today the Perfectly Pairs stamp set. So I use a few of these stamps today. And I'm going to be using a die from the Stylish Shapes die. You see the missing square here. We're going to use that as well. All right. First, I'm going to start with some Secret Sea ink. And I'm going to use the stamp that says, "A good friend is a gift." I love this stamp. I think that's such a great sentiment. I mean, you could put it on any card. You could put it on a birthday card or a congratulations card or a thinking of you card. It would really work for any occasion. So start with that. And then I'm going to grab my Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to stamp the outline of these two leaves, the stem and the leaves. We're just going to stamp the outline in Mossy Meadow. I want it kind of close, but not too close. So let's see, I'm going to put it right here. Here we are. And now I love this stamp set because it's two-step stamping. So we had the outline stamp there, and now we've got the stamp that stamps the inside of the leaves, and I'm using Old Olive. So we'll ink that up. I'm going to put this down here so I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Let's see if I can get this lined up. I think I'm close. I'm going to commit. There we go. All right. Not bad. Okay. Now, where's that die? Here's the square die that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to cut out a square here. So let me grab my cut and emboss machine and my plates. And we'll put this on. And let me grab some Post-it note tape to kind of keep things in place. Okay, that's straight. And if you're in the United States, you know this is Thanksgiving week. Oh, I don't have that really lined up very well. Let me change that so I make sure it actually cuts. Kind of close to the edge. Let's move it like this. That's better. Had this one corner kind of sticking off to the side. Anyway, it is Thanksgiving week. So if you are going to be celebrating this week, I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Okay. There we are. Very cute. All right, let's grab some things and put some things together. Here's my secret C and my square of the designer series paper, and I'm just going to layer those two things. So let me grab my glue. So we are not hosting this year. One of our kids and his wife invited us to their house. So that's a first for us, and I'm really looking forward to it. Should be lots of fun. And now this is just going to go right here in the center. I love layering. I think it adds so much to the card if we have lots of nice layers. Makes it look really fancy. And it's not hard. So I did want to say I used a die for this square. You don't have to use a die. You can just cut out a square just like I did with the other pieces there. So if you don't have square dies, no worries. Let's fold and burnish our card base. And this is going to go on the front. Let me make sure I've got this oriented correctly. There we go. Have you ever done that? Put your layer on the front of your card base, but put it upside down. I've done that and then had to do some card surgery. To basically remake the card. All right, got that. Let's look at the inside. So this is going to go on the inside right here. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Now this is another easy card. I've been doing quite a few easy cards recently, along with some treats. And some of you are so wonderful. I really appreciate it. After you watch a video and you make something using the tutorial as an inspiration, then you send me pictures. And I love that. I appreciate it so much. I'm so glad to know when something I showed you kind of got you fired up and got you making something. That's why we're here. So I'm just kind of centering this with the equal margins on the bottom and on the left and right. just to add a little bit of color on the inside of our card. Then this is going to go here. And before I put it on, actually, I'm going to get some bling. These are the low profile sparkle dots. There's also Secret Sea and Mossy Meadow in there, but I think I'm going to use these uh, Darling Duckling. That's the color. Darling Duckling. Let me get my take your pick tool here. And I'm going to grab one of these large ones. There we are. And I'm going to kind of just put it right here, the end of that stem. Then let's get a small one. Where do I want to put it? I'm going to put this one right here. And then let's put one kind of close, like right in there. Excuse me. Let me grab my water. Oh my goodness. Okay, better. And lastly, I think I'll put, I'm just going to get a hold of it. Need to scrunch up my putty on the end. Let's put one there, and I want to go for an even number. So I'm going to grab another one. And I'll just put it, I don't know, should we put it here? Should we put it there? I think I am going to put it right here. There. So that gives a little sparkle and shine to our card. We need dimensionals. Dimensionals. So let's put some of those on here. And I've also got some ribbon here. So I'm kind of going all out here with the embellishing. Okay, so this is just going to go right in here. And again, I'm kind of looking for, I'm going to bring it down here so I can see a little better. I'm putting kind of the same distance margin, excuse me, around the top and the bottom. Got to grab my water again. It has rained a lot here the last few days, and my sinuses are just going bananas. Bananas. Okay. Good grief. Let me find my ribbon here. I'm just going to tie a knot. There we go. And let's trim this off. Awesome. I think we need to make this other side a little shorter. So I'm going to cut this like this. There we go. Okay. Now I think I am just going to, I don't know. I think I'm going to just put it here. Just kind of right along the bottom edge. So let me get that on. Right right here. There. That's a little different place for me to put the ribbon. And let me tell you what it is. It is the Mossy Meadow and Gold trim. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous ribbon. Love it. So here's our first card. And I can see my camera is trying to move. That is not cool. That's not cool. Okay, here we go. First card. Easy peasy. Very cute. And a fun way to use that the paper that has a little bit different pattern to it. So that's card number one. Let's do that was portrait. So let's do a landscape card and let's change up the colors a little bit. I've got some mossy meadow here. And since we're going landscape, here's my designer series paper. We've got the white piece for the inside again. Got another square for layering. And here's our square that, remember, is just the reverse side of that. Got a scrap. And we have a little piece for the inside. Okay, let's put some things together. Then we'll do stamping, and I'm going to use some different stamps on this one. So it is going to be a little different. I do like this stamp set. I love pears. I've got a basket full of pears in my kitchen right now. I've been eating like one a day because this is pear season and I love them so much. All right. Let's fold and burnish. And we'll put this on the inside. So I guess since it is Thanksgiving this week, I should ask the obligatory question. What is your favorite Thanksgiving side? That's what everybody always wants to know, right? What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? I know what mine is. I'll tell you in just a minute. I want to hear from you guys first. Tell me what your favorite side dish is. Besides the Black Friday sale that starts tomorrow, the other thing that's going on right now for demonstrators is, excuse me, pre-order for the new mini catalog that comes out in January. So I know if you're a demonstrator, you've probably already placed your pre-order. I know I have, and I got my box a couple of days ago. So I am very excited about the new products that are coming out. Let me straighten that up a little bit. I love these colors. So pretty. All right, this gets to sit over here for a minute, and we're going to stamp. And this time, I'm going to use the same sentiment stamp. And I am going to use, let's see, you know what? I want to use my Mossy Meadow. So I need to clean my stamp. Let me grab my chamois and clean the stamp off. There we go. And we want Mossy Meadow. So, and I'm going to make sure This is actually going to fit. Yeah, it does. It just looked awfully skinny to me. I don't want to stamp everything and then have it not be big enough for me to do the die cut. That would be a bummer. Okay. Gorgeous. And now I'm going to use this little flower stamp. And then those are the centers of the flower. It is part of the stamp set. There we go. And there are the centers. So I'm going to use, I'm actually going to use Calypso Coral. And want to turn it around the right way. That would be good. And to put these flowers in here. Like that. Now we need the Darling Duckling. And I actually want to stamp off. So I just got this little piece of cardstock here. I'm just going to use that because I want the centers to be kind of a lighter color. Don't want them to be too dark. Let me make sure I'm going to orient this correctly. Yes, that's the way it goes. Okay. See if I can get this lined up in a decent way. I feel like I can't see, but there, we're going right there. That's what we're going to do. It'll just be like a little bit of yellow. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Now, I told you I was going to use a blend today, and I am. I am going to use this dark petal pink, and I'm going to put just a little bit of color inside the flowers. So I'm not really going to color it in. I'm just putting 2 or 3 little strokes of color in there. There we go. It's very light and delicate, and that is exactly what I wanted. So let's die cut this. Grab that Stampin' Emboss machine. Not Stampin' Emboss, cut and emboss. Cut and emboss. And get that die on there again. Let's see if I can center it. That's pretty good. We'll run this through. Maybe. There we go. And when I'm doing dies that have like a solid edge like that, you see I put it in there at an angle. So it's like this instead of like this, because it's harder for the machine to get it to go through if it's trying to pick up that whole piece. So if you have it even slightly, then it's taking a little bit at a time there, and it feeds through easier and has it's less likely to go clunk. You know, sometimes it makes that noise when it goes through. Let's put this on here. And then I'm going to come over and see what you all have to say over there in the chat. I love how the Calypso Coral and the petal pink, pick up the same colors in the paper right behind it. That's a nice look. More dimensionals. And then we'll do just a little bling. And I'll come chat with you, and then I will show you a card that I made with this same kind of template, but with the perennial lavender. I know that many of you like that paper. I sure do. Um, and it has a similar sheet in there. There we go. I like it. I like it. I like it. Now we need some jewels. I think I'm going to use the blue ones. It's got the secret sea flowers, so I think that is what I'm going to use. Okay. And I'm not going to go as wild with these this time. I think. Do, 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 do. I'm just going to do a large one. And we're just going to put it right in here next to those flowers. And then grab a small one. Just kind of put it right there. And one more. Maybe just put it right there. Whoops. I actually have to stick it down. There we go. That's it. Good friend is a gift. So pretty. Okay, let me bring this other one back so you can take a look at those. And let's see what's happening over here in the chat. The chat. Okay. So, yes, Lisa says she's got stuff in her cart for the big Black Friday sale that starts tomorrow, that starts on Tuesday. Oh, Carla. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Well, you can do another order, right? You could just do another one. There's lots of stuff. You could get another order. And Cheryl, you named your daughter Christina Lynn. Oh, that's really sweet. And that's how I spell it too, Lynn. Or my mother spelled it that way for me, I guess. Yes, yes. Hi, Marlene. Good to see you. And Aurelia. Hi. I know, Lisa, that ribbon. Seriously, this is one of the prettiest ribbons. I like it because it's narrow, but it's got really good texture, so it's easy to work with. And that gold shimmer is unbelievable. Really pretty. I have never had pear salad, Lisa. Do I need to go on Pinterest and find pear salad? Never had it. Never heard of it. Never had it. If it's got pears in it, I'm sure I would love it. Carla is the stuffing dressing gal. Green bean casserole. That is old school, isn't it, Lisa? Green bean casserole. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Now I'm in charge of bringing mashed potatoes to the family gathering on Thursday. And I haven't made mashed potatoes in a long time. So hopefully I'll do it. I went and found Joanna Gaines' recipe on her Magnolia website. So that's what I'm going with. Sweet potato casserole. I love sweet potatoes. You know what? I had a sweet potato for lunch today. I love them. Green glue. Yep. That's me too, Cheryl. Exactly. That's why I like the green glue because I never put anything down straight and I can always wiggle things around a little bit and get it just to where I want it. Candied yams, mashed potatoes, cards. Oh, yes, Lisa, I'm glad you like them. Yep, Carla, got to do a pre order. So that's with the pears. I don't know which one I like better. I always love that secret C, but I kind of like this with the little flowers. I think that's fun. So I'm not sure which one of those is my favorite. I like both of them. Let me show you this one that I did with the perennial lavender paper because I think you'll like it. So let's put these over here. And here's the one with the perennial lavender. So beautiful paper. I don't have a whole sheet that I can show you. Here's part of a sheet, but it still has the same idea. It's like it's not a pattern all over the paper. It doesn't cover the entire page. So it's kind of like in this corner, and then the reverse of this up here in this corner. But there's quite a bit in the middle. So if you can just kind of cut around the sides, and then the back side is this. So that's what I used for my layer right there. So pretty. Little stamping on the inside. And I know you guys are going to ask me about the stamps. So this happy birthday stamp is from an old stamp set called Oval Occasions. And there it is. Happy birthday. I will never get rid of that stamp set. I love that happy birthday. I don't know why, but it really works for me. And so this is Lost Lagoon. The cardstock is Lost Lagoon. And this is Pretty Peacock. And then I believe that's Highland Heather that I stamped. I used the painted lavender stamp set. This is a set that's also retired, but it was part of the suite when this paper first came out. So here's that kind of in the background there. Some little gems, and then a couple more of the stamps from this stamp set. So that is what I have for you today. So I hope you'll look through your stash and see if you have, the pear paper, if you have this paper, you might have some other paper where the design is really just around the edges, and just cut it so you've got, some from the left side and the right side that are portrait, and then the ones along the bottom or along the top you can use as landscape cards. There is one other one that I had made earlier that I'll show you. It's just another landscape one. That was kind of my test case. And because the white was in a different place, I ended up putting my sentiment, my little layers up there. So that's just a little bit different. And I put the ribbon on the corner. So pear salad. Okay, so I'm going on Pinterest when we get off tonight and going to look for the pear salad. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember, tomorrow the sale starts. If you would like to shop with me, there's where you can find my online store. And also down below this video in the description, I've got links for you there. There's a link where you can go and get measurements and you can look at the shopping list. And then a bunch of links for Amazon for some of my favorite tools. So I just try to share with you guys all the stuff I love. And if there's something you're wondering about that I didn't cover, please just send me an email or leave a comment, and I will do my best to answer your question. All right, I will be back again on Monday. And until then, hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a very, very good week. All right, see you soon. Bye bye.